Today we're going to do a quick demo to learn how to make a meme. Okay, so on our drives in the L drive Nicholas folder, you can find this file, or if you're not accessing this at school, you can pause this and read the steps. Otherwise, just follow along here. First, we're going to make a new file. US paper, letter, 8.5 by 11, 300 is fine, all that jazz. Okay. And then first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our rulers to make a rectangle or a perfect square. This isn't really necessary, but it's something to do that's good to teach you rulers. If you can't see rulers at the top and the side, use Control and R, right? It turns them on and off. And if you see something that doesn't look like inches, just right-click on the ruler and choose inches, because we're in America, and in America, inches. Yeah, all right. So now I'm setting up some guidelines, and these aren't real lines, but they are created by clicking in the ruler and dragging a line out to a point on the top. So when I'm clicking from the top and dragging down, I'm actually making a horizontal guideline, and I'm looking at this ruler on the left to see that it lines up at both 1 and 5. Okay, so we know from basic math that 5 minus 1 is 4, so I've made a 4-inch square. And I can check that square by using my rectangular marquee tool, one of our great selection tools, and I can hold it down. Let me zoom in a little bit first. Zoom in on our square. Okay. There's my marquee tool. If I go right over my guidelines, the marquee little icon kind of turns reddish. We'll just get it close. Right, and I'm going to hold Shift and see that yes, because holding Shift makes my rectangle and marquee only work in a perfect square versus any rectangle. It did make me a nice perfect square. All right, what do I need to do with this? I need to fill it with a color. I'm going to use the paint bucket. It can be accessed with the G key, hotkey, as long as you're not typing. And whatever is your color on top is going to be the color that paints in. So I'm going to just go with that fuchsia, pinkish, whatever color you want to call that. I have made a pink square. Congratulations. I don't exactly know where I am on this. So it says View, Menu, yeah, click and drag the ruler, guidelines, and rectangle marquee, select a 4-inch square, paint bucket tool. Yeah, all right, so we're through step 5. Right, so now we're going to go on to step 6, polygonal lasso tool, and select the pinwheel color area. All right, going back to this document. Polygonal lasso tool is this one. It's, I think, probably one of the most important tools to start with using. I'm going to click somewhere right in the center just to start this thing. Right, there we go. And it started, and I know you can see the line that it drags behind it. Right. Polygonal lasso tool works in straight lines. And I don't want to close it yet. If I go right next to this, you see the little O that appears there? That's going to close it up and create a closed selection. I'm just going to go near it. The center doesn't really matter anyway. It's going to be covered by our picture. So I'm following this pattern all the way around of clicking to the center, clicking to the outside, moving over, and clicking back towards the center. Outside, over, back towards the center. Outside, over, back towards the center. And it's making this kind of pinwheel looking shape. Being sure that I stay outside on the corners, trying to make them somewhat even. You know, that kind of thing. All right, so now that I've got fairly even spacing, I do want to go back to the beginning, get that O next to it, click where I started. Now we have a closed selection. Little ants marching going around shows us the selection. Go back to my foreground color and choose something different, complementary, opposite, somehow different. I'm going to go pink and yellowish orange. That works just fine. And with my paint bucket tool, because I have a shape here, that is selected, right? Part of a shape is selected and part of nothing is selected. I think Photoshop, and usually it tries to predict where you want it to go. So let's see what happens here. I click in there. Yes, absolutely. It only colored in inside of my rectangle. If I wanted out here, I would just click out here and it would get that too. But I don't want that, so Control Z. If for some reason you're following along and it does paint the whole thing, you can very simply, let's put it in as the whole thing, right? Let's do it out here. If it does this, and you happen to deselect and you can't figure out how to go back, you can always choose that rectangular marquee again, go back and reselect your square. Make sure I've got it right on there. Right? Use our select inverse feature, Shift and Control and I, and hit delete. Now, I want that to be filled with white. Okay. The only reason it asked me that is because on my layers I am working on the background layer, which I should never do. So from here on out I'm going to make a new layer, and I should not have done this on the background layer because it's just a pain in the butt. I hate background layers. Anywho, Control D to deselect. We've got our meme background. What we need now is a picture of a person, place, or thing that we will make our meme out of. Alright, I'm going to go to Screencast-O-Matic. This is what I'm using right now to record this. Hashtag Screencast-O-Matic. Screencast-O-Matic.com, screen recorder. It's super fast, friendly, and easy to use. So let's go to Google. Let's find an image of Michael Phelps. Just because he's the man. He's from Baltimore, and it's going to be easy to find a picture of him. Like this one. This one will work pretty good because it's got his whole head. He's looking, and you could probably read a million phrases into that expression. Just copying it. I'm going to go over here and paste Control V. Okay, nice sized image. For this portion, intro to Photoshop, I'm still going to use that polygonal lasso. You could use some other selections. So real quick, Magic Wand. If you select this blue in the background, you should be able to get a fairly decent selection, except for the fact that he's also wearing a blue shirt. There's a lot of blue reflected on his skin. So if I turn up my tolerance to, like, let's say 15, just how serious this Magic Wand works, try reselecting it, it's still doing a pretty good job. I could try raising it again, make it 20. Usually adjust these things by about 5 points at a time. And I'm holding Shift now and just kind of reselecting around. That did actually an excellent job. Way to go, Photoshop. Had that not worked out, if I had a complicated background, I would have simply chosen that and gone bloop, 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 little short lines all the way around this thing to try to select him out. And then I would have come back around the top, closed it off, and hit delete. But Magic Wand worked out pretty nice. Okay, I do still have some blue on the edge where it was, his hair was picking up a lot of blue. Again, intro to Photoshop, this doesn't matter. So now I need to get him the right size. Control T or Edit, Transform, Free Transform is how we're going to do that. And while transforming, we always do it from the corner. So far as scale is concerned, when we're changing the size of something, always from the corner, always holding Shift. It keeps our proportions. When we don't go from the corner, we squish people by top or by side. And it's really difficult to try to estimate how to get them back. You don't want people to be too skinny or too squished on top. I'm just going to Control Z that to undo. Control T again, grab from the corner, hold Shift, get it the right size. Right there looks pretty good so that we can fit a little bit of text at the top and the bottom. Looking back at our directions, we've done now the polygonal lasso, the paint bucket with the new color, the internet-defined copy and paste a character, polygonal lasso tool we talked about, selected menu to select all that is not your image, and blah, 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 hit delete in the keyboard. And then the text tool, this is where we are now, 11. Clicking on your meme square, don't drag a text box, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. So, when using text in Photoshop, it's fairly simple, so long as you don't do that. Right? Dragging a text box is problematic in that, you can type stuff all day, and then when it's not showing up in here because it's yellow text over top of yellow background, right? But also, if I get outside of my box, or if I make something that's too big, if this is, let me quick change it to black. Okay, even if it's black text, if I happen to, from previous usage or something, have it at 36 or 70 point font, it might show up as nothing, right? I can't see it at all because my text box isn't big enough for the text. So forget about text boxes for now, right? Just click, and it'll give you a cursor, and you can type all day, whatever you want it to say, right? That is way too big. I'll usually type something, size it, and font it from there. I'm just going to take it down to about 36. Change my font to something bold and simple, just not a brush script. I'm going to use Berlin Sans, bold, whatever. All right. Now we want to write something, right? We want to think of something funny and snarky. So this isn't going to be that funny because I haven't had that much time to think about it. I just thought of Michael Phelps while I was doing this. So, more gold medals. More gold. Yeah, I got more. I don't know. That's not that funny. But who cares? For right now, that's not the point. You just want to see how to do it. Now I'm going to make it fit in there. You got to drop down the size of the font. More gold. Yeah, I got more. Oh. All right. And I've got two different text layers here, so I can move back and forth. I can center these things by selecting both of them, right? And then your little align stuff lines up here. Look at this, align center. Boop. Now they're good. Now I want to take Michael off the text, so I'm going to click back on his layer. With my move tool, I have auto select checked so that whatever I click on, you can see in my layers palette, right? I'm on the background layer, I'm on this layer, I'm on that layer, I'm on this layer. See my layer being changed, right? Doesn't want to show me my background. Control T, finish it up, drag them in here. Good, wants to help me line up. Finish transforming, I forgot to mention, hit enter. And the last thing we want to do to both of these is apply a layer style. That's down here, the FX button, add a layer style. Let's go for stroke. Now you'll get this dialog box. It's going with the bottom. It is white, but it's really, really small. So I bump it up a little bit. Make sure it's on the outside. Okay. And that gives you a nice little edge popping off. You can right click and copy that layer style. And then right click and paste layer style, there it is, on the other layer. Then they have the exact same layer style. That's your meme, folks. 12 minutes. Shouldn't be that hard.